Hey folks, Andrew here with Las Ceviche Vineyards, and I'm joined by Sommer and Heather today. And Heather, this is your first YouTube video. Are you excited?
I'm excited, a little nervous. I hope we get my good side.
And we're here in our cottage today. Sommer, why are we here?
Okay, so why are we here? Well, I was just watching an episode of Dr. Phil, and I think I have some enlightenment, rationale of why we are here. We're here because wine and food. That's what I got from. Actually, that's not what I got from Dr. Phil. That's what I got last Friday night, and I love it. It's life right here.
So we're here today, just enjoying the food of the fancy flight, right? So every Sunday at Las Ceviche we do a tour. It's called the Estate Tour and Tasting. I refer to it as the fancy flight. It's run by me, and it's a nice tour of the property, and then we end in the cottage here with a plate of small bites, all prepared by me, that go with some of our wines. So all in total, there's usually about 6 wines that we have with 6 different bites. We only have 4 of them in front of us today, but we're just going to be introduced to the new menu that we are going to have available to you when we open back up, hopefully sooner rather than later. So we're going to start on our left, and we'll go to our right. First off, in the glass, we have our 2018 Bordello. So go ahead and smell and sip that wine. Anything popping out for you there?
I taste a little grapefruit or citrus.
I was gonna say citrus. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, as this 18 Bordello has aged a little bit, it used to be prominently pineapple aromas and flavors, but some of that has dropped off and the citrus is definitely shining through right now. On the plate, this is a fun one. This is called Kelaguen, and Kelaguen is traditionally served in Guam. And one of our co-workers, my best friend in the entire world, Christine, her family is from Guam. And so whenever I go to parties at her house, we always have Kelaguen. And Kelaguen is like a pulled, you can do beef, but most people do chicken, a lot of citrus, green onions. And so I made a slider out of it. So it's a Kelaguen slider with cashews on a Hawaiian sweet roll. So go ahead and take a bite of that and then go back to the wine and let's see what happens.
That's good. I like it.
Is there citrus in here too?
Yes.
Lemon?
Yeah,
No, it pairs really nicely.
Yeah, there's a lot of lemon in Kelaguen.
That's really good.
It's really good.
I like that.
And almost the onion and the lemon from the Kelaguen bring out a green apple finish to the wine that wasn't there on first taste. So I like that enhancement that it brought to it.
And then on the wine roll, it's just so good.
Wine roll.
Good.
Everything on the wine roll.
Oh yeah, right?
It
Wine
balances
bottle, wine
nicely.
roll.
It holds up too.
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah, the wine definitely holds up. It balances each other really well.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, next up, wine-wise, second glass, we have our 2016 Estate Barbera. Interesting wine. So yeah, it says smell the wine, sip the wine.
Smith or Spread.
Mm. So Barbera is so interesting because sometimes when I open up, and I know this is not necessarily people won't agree with me, but when you open up right away and you pour it, sometimes I'm like, oh, I don't think I like that much. But you just set it out for a little bit, and you're like, oh, hello.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's definitely a wine that is can do with some decanting for sure,
Yeah.
and ages pretty nicely as well too. So 16, Brent says was a pretty good year. He's pretty happy with all the wines that he got from 16. But in Barbera in particular, he feels like he's gotten a handle on the vineyard and knowing when to pull fruit and harvest fruit at a better time. So he was struggling working with Barbera for a while, but now at this point with the 16, he thinks he's got kind of a set on what he needs to do with it.
Yeah, that's really good.
On the plate, we have a raspberry horchata. So horchata is a rice milk drink, and I flavored it with a little raspberry. So There's raspberry on the side. There's some raspberry. What do you call the little round parts of a raspberry?
Nubs.
Nubs.
And I'm
Nodules.
like, actually,
Bobbles.
don't think those are either nubs, doohickeys, raspberry, freckles.
Freckles. I like it.
So enjoy your horchata.
Oh, this is delicious.
Mm-hmm.
There's cinnamon in this?
Yep.
Ah.
Ooh, that goes nicely together. It's really good. Good job, Andrew.
So yeah, I wanted.
I like it.
Mm.
The
Oh.
cinnamon really brings out with
Some of the
barbara,
spices
the
and
spice.
that,
Yeah,
yeah.
it definitely changes the flavor for that.
Yep. And that, the idea of doing, this is now menu 5, and we've always had food items. And so the idea of doing liquid and liquid has always really interested me. And this is an example of that, where it's just kind of a little shooter that goes, and people don't often pair this way, a liquid and a liquid. So I kind of like the idea behind that too.
It's really
I
good.
like it.
I felt like it did bring out the spice. When I first tried the barbara, it was really smooth. And this was my first taste of the 16. And so the cinnamon, really changed it.
Yep.
It was good. It's really good.
That's what it is. Horchata hard to make.
It's just kind of time consuming because you have to soak rice overnight to soften it up. But other than that, it's not extremely difficult to make.
Yeah.
You just have to plan it out ahead of time.
So good. I mean, that goes really well together. I'm liking that a lot.
Next up, in the glass, 2016 Tempranillo, my favorite wine. We have some temp fans at the table right now. And this one is pretty exquisite. So yeah, go ahead, smell and get your nose in there.
Hello.
And not that you guys aren't familiar, or ladies aren't familiar with this
I
wine.
may have had some last night.
This one is definitely like. my
So what do you like about Tempranillo?
Oh man. To me, it's almost like this is bad. I don't know if this is a sad thing to admit or what, but like it's a comfort food at this point. So I worked here for like 6 years, and one of the wines that would bring me in is I really liked our temp, and then I just kept coming back, and like they just got better and better and better, and so now it's almost like Tempranillo, and then like you can taste it. It's very, like I said, Las Positas feels like home to me. So when I taste our Tempranillo, it very much feels like
That's awesome.
nostalgia.
And I'm sure a lot of our customers feel that way as well, as a wine that they've attached to, whether, everyone has their favorites, whether it's Casidius or Tempranillo or Barbera, and so it's a soothing at-home wine. And I like how you put that. That's awesome.
And there was a moment, and you get like, and I kind of stopped drinking. I was into our blends a lot, and I just go towards the Casidius and stuff, and some of the other things that we were doing, because I think I was like, I should always do temp. Let me share it. And then I'll never forget, I opened one up and I poured it and I tasted it and I was like, hello, old friend. And it brings you back to like, when you like, I did anything to go back to grandma's house at Christmas. That's Tempranillo. And that's what a weirdo I am with my food.
Nothing wrong with that. Heather, why do you like Tempranillo?
Actually, Tempranillo for me is a little bit of a new love affair.
Okay.
I was always a fan of our blends, and I think just being in the tasting room and having the ability to try Tempranillo more and more, I just found myself always really enjoying it. And same thing, I'll open it up at home and I take a glass, and it's just always good. And it's nice for me to drink as a standalone. Like I don't have to have food with it.
Yep.
But when I do, it makes it a whole new experience. But yeah, it's just something that I've learned to love.
Nice. We've got some passionate Tempranillo people in the room right now.
I know, we got really excited.
On the plate, this one, I will tell the story about it after we kind of have it. So what we have here is it's going to be a really long title, so hold your breath. A Mexican hot chocolate Snickerdoodle crisp topped with cayenne pepper buttercream frosting.
Awesome. Okay, I love it.
If you ask me to repeat what you just said, okay. I'm just diving in.
Yeah, dive in.
Well, you had me at churro.
So yeah, that was the original idea, was to make a churro, but I didn't want to use a fryer because fried food, doesn't sit well and it kills the air. So I took my churro recipe and I was starting to make it, and I took the eggs out because I didn't need the eggy consistency if I was just gonna bake it off. So then I kind of just turned it into a cookie, and then I was topping it with a cream that was based off of rehydrated chilies that were soaking in Tempranillo and powdered sugar. And I just said, you know what, why don't we just make a frosting out of it with some cayenne? And I think the cayenne buttercream frosting, there's a little tingle at the back end, but it's not overpowering, and there's so much sugar with the rest of the cookie and the icing frosting that I think it goes pretty nicely.
I like it.
The cayenne,
Yeah.
with the Tempranillo, it really smooths it out.
Right?
Yeah,
This
because
is
you
good.
feel the cayenne definitely lingers.
It kind of always made like a churro brownie of
Mm.
sorts, right?
Mhm,
Like,
mhm.
it's really good.
It's delicious.
This is the first time I've had this pairing, actually, first time I tried it. So
Mm.
I'm always tinkering, editing things a little bit,
Mhm.
and I wasn't happy with this before today, but
Yeah.
It's good.
I'm good with it.
Yeah,
I love
because
it.
I really do feel like the Tempranillo, because that cayenne sits
Mm-hmm.
in your mouth for a little
Right.
bit, and it goes.
That
nicely.
tingle,
It does,
yeah.
yeah. You might need a napkin for
Yeah.
that one.
All right, now up last on the flight, we have in the glass, we have the 2019 Albarino. Pretty heavy award-winning wine, won the best class at the San Francisco Chronicle competition this year. Brent is really happy with it. It's a lot of citrus, a little tart, green apple, kiwi. In the past, Brent has tended to put his whites, both Bordello and Albarino, to acacia. He has figured out that kind of just masks more flavors than it brings to the table. So both the white wines that we had today are completely 100% stainless steel.
I love this one too.
Smells so good. And this candle.
Just put it under that. Always. This also goes good on a Friday night.
Mm.
So Andrew, why are you bringing us back to a white?
I like to play around with convention, and in a conventional tasting menu, you're either going to end with something that is heavy on the palate or something that is sweet. And this is the complete opposite of that. And you'll see why when the wine is paired with the food that we have here on the plate. So let's get to it. This is a green ceviche. And I never had a green ceviche until about November of 2019 at Nopalito in San Francisco. And it really opened my eyes to, expanding beyond traditional ceviche. And in this ceviche, I've chosen to work with octopus. So we have some green ceviche with some Persian cucumbers and octopus. So the heat and the acidity from both the wine and the ceviche are going to cleanse the palate. So instead of leaving this table feeling like you're heavy and just want to take a nap, it'll bring both your senses and your palate back to life. So that's the idea behind that.
Nice. Now, one of your other food pairings, the last one you ended with a white and a truffle, and that was the first time I ever thought about going back to a white after doing red, and it was amazing.
Mhm.
It changes. I feel like it makes the wine not as acidic
Mhm.
because the cilantro and the
Mhm.
lime and all that, it really changes the flavor. It's
Oh,
really
yeah.
nice and light.
Oh yeah.
Mhm. It pairs
It
nicely
brings a
together.
vibrant wine even more to life.
Yes.
I would say that before you have the ceviche, this wine smells golden. It smells
Mhm.
smells like a golden color. When you have the ceviche with it, it takes it and makes it green. And you have these lime flavors just popping out of nowhere. Definitely green apple coming to the play with even more vibrantly.
Wow.
And then
Mhm.
the thing that I love the most is how it handles the heat of the ceviche.
Yeah.
Because there's some kick to the ceviche, but the wine cools it down on the palate a lot.
Yeah, it has a really nice clean finish.
Mm-hmm.
It's really like you said, it just goes so nicely. That's amazing. I like it too. I would have never thought to end with a white. I like that.
Mm-hmm.
Never mind until like last time, and it goes nice.
Mhm.
And even at home now, we've adventured because of your last pairing. John and I will sometimes drink some red, and then we'll go to white at the end of the night.
Mhm.
Which is some people would be like, no, it was like you're not supposed to do that. That's at least like what I was told. It's great.
Yep. Yeah, it's especially if you have a white wine that's high in acidity, it'll
Yeah. No, I think
definitely help out. Summer, what do you think your favorite thing was today?
Okay, that churro with the temp was so good. I don't know because I really liked them all. That's hard decision.
What about you, Heather?
I'm gonna say I really liked the play with the horchata
Okay.
and the barbera. I thought it was a really interesting how it changed the wine. To me, when I initially tried the barbera, it tasted really smooth, and that little kick of cinnamon really changed it for me, and I liked that. Plus, it's just a really fun play. Like you said, something so different,
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
Yeah,
But then the sandwich and the Bordello.
Mm-hmm.
you had so many like unique flavors
Yeah.
that came out, and I have to agree with you. This was a great way to end because I feel like my palate like is just cleansed and like ready to go.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's delicious.
Well, folks, hopefully when we open back up, you can come check out the estate tour and tasting experience, aka the Fancy Flight, here at Las Acetas Vineyards. Until then, stay safe out there.
Bye.